Hey everyone, we're only halfway through the week, but I feel like so much classic news is happening so quickly that I wanted to make an update video just to go over everything that's been going on this week. So to start right off, this was kind of a big topic of conversation among the classic community. Blizzard has been opening up free character transfers for a while, since we've noticed that certain servers have had really large queues. And one big concern from people, they were not faction specific. So if you're on a server that's dominated by Horde, it's like 80 to 20 Horde dominant ratio. A lot of the Alliance have been scrambling off the server because they're like, screw this, there's too many Horde, I can't do anything in the open world, I'm getting killed everywhere, it's greatly imbalanced, I'm getting the heck out of here. But as a result of that, it just creates even more of an imbalance. Like, I have a bunch of IRL friends who played on Herod at the start of Classic on Alliance, and they were complaining so much that it was imbalanced, Horde everywhere, like I said. They left, they went to Earth Fury, they took the free character transfer and left. But what did that do? Again, that created only more of a faction imbalance, so now Herod is even more dominated by Horde. It was really nice to see that the team listened and they opened up certain character transfers that were faction specific only, more specifically Horde only. So on November 11th, there was a free character move update for the NA realms. You could say that they've offered free character transfers to other servers, all for the following servers. So from Fairlena, you could go to Anathema, Arcanite Reaper, and Earth Fury. From Fairbanks, Horde only, you could go to Anathema, Arcanite Reaper, Earth Fury, and Heartseeker. So it sounds like Fairbanks has a large Horde population, and they kind of listened and were like, okay, we're not going to let Alliance leave. We're just going to let Horde because there's too many Horde. we don't want to increase the gap. We want to close the gap. From Herod, you could go to Arcanite Reaper and Heartseeker. From Incendius, you could go to Anathema, Arcanite Reaper, and Earth Fury. And same with Whitemane, Anathema, Arcanite Reaper, and Earth Fury. So that was an overview of the NA servers. The same thing has happened with the EU servers, more in particular Noggenfogger and Shazra. Those servers have been opened up to Horde-only transfers as well. And there's a complete list, I'll put a link in the description below, that has a complete chart of all of the character transfers that are open and available to both NA and EU players due to overpopulation. And to piggyback off of that, layering was removed just yesterday, so all realms are now down to a single layer in WoW Classic. And what has happened as a result of that? Well, like I said, Blizzard tried to warn us by offering free character transfers. There are still pretty big queue times on many of the servers. We had a little report last night on Wowhead, more particularly as primetime hit last night. US West Whitemane and Fairbanks had a queue, US East Fairlena, Herod, and Incendius. So there are still 5 NA servers that have pretty large queues. I know I am on Fairlena, and the queue time was up to 200 minutes last night, and I hadn't seen a queue like that dating back to close to the launch of Classic, so it's going to be interesting. We got to play the queue game again. Using the Google Remote Desktop app has been really helpful for me. If you're not by your computer, you could queue up, go AFK, or queue up from work, and monitor the queue times from there, so that may help manage your queuing a little bit more efficiently. And so I really recommend checking something like that out, the remote desktop. So if you are sick of the queue times and you want to get the heck out, check the free character migration if you're interested and not tied down to a server. You may have a better experience going to a less popular server, especially if you're sick of queue times or overpopulation. So be sure to check that out. Blizzard highly encourages people to consider transferring off of high population servers. So we're going to change the subject a little bit. There's been a hotfix on November 12th. The Gadgetzan guards no longer have attack range. So, as you guys know, I'm sure you've definitely seen this, people possibly quote-unquote abusing line of sight issues, distance in some way to gank players in Gadgetzan, Booty Bay, and Everlook without having the repercussions of the guards attacking them. The update is the guards in Gadgetzan, Booty Bay, and Everlook now have a significantly longer range on their ranged attack. The developer's note said, "We're seeing some players attack others by abusing line of sight rules in Gadgetzan. This disruption is against our terms of service, as it was in 2006. And we're taking action against players who exploit this game mechanic. While this new range differs slightly from the original WoW 1.12, it better enforces the authentically intended consequence of PvPing in a goblin city by challenging the attacker to fight, die, or escape the guards." And a couple of other bullet points: the discombobulator array will now correctly dismount mounted enemy players. Abilities that provide a damage increase to the next auto attack, like Heroic Strike and Raptor Strike, will now properly break crowd control effects if the ability was queued before the crowd control was applied. Corrected an issue that prevented pets from attacking a target who entered stealth after the attack command was used, and corrected an issue with the gnomish cloaking device that caused it to incorrectly drop the player from combat when used. So those were the hotfixes for November 12th. And lastly, the biggest piece of news for me personally is that the Keyring won't come in Phase 2. It will be added later this year. And we found this out yesterday. I had assumed that the Keyring was coming out in Phase 2 because originally we were told that it would be released with the first major patch of WoW Classic. This was a little non-specific, so players didn't really know, well, when exactly is the first big patch? Is it during Phase 2? Is it when Dire Maul comes out? Like, when exactly is this coming out? Blizzard clarified yesterday in a blue post by saying, yes, the Keyring will come to WoW Classic with our first patch to the game client later this year. We don't have a certain date for the patch, but we'll let you know as soon as we do. We're able to turn on content such as Dire Maul or world bosses without having to change the game client and require downtime the way a patch does. Sorry for the confusion. So there you have it, folks. Those are all the updates that have been going on this week so far. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this update. I apologize for my voice. I've been trying to recover from a cold over the past few days. We went from 80-degree weather in sunny Anaheim, California at BlizzCon to about 30-40-degree weather in New York. So I think it took a little bit of a toll on me. It's actually like 25 degrees right now this morning, so trying to drink a lot of tea and keep the speaking to a minimum. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit me up in the comments if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. You could follow the live stream at Quissy TV over on Twitch and Quissy TV over on Twitter as well. Thanks again for watching, guys. Thank you for all the support, and we'll see you in Phase 2.